What up, llamas? Welcome back. Hope you're excited that you're in Algebra 1. Congrats. Some of you will have a talk and make sure that you're up for the challenge based on your LEAP scores, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So yeah, pretty much everybody made it into Algebra 1. Congrats. Sorry I can't be there this week. I had another back surgery. This one's a bit rougher than last time. Hopefully I'll be back next Monday with you guys and we'll be rocking and rolling with some algebra then. Alright, so first things first. A seating chart will be going around either today or one day this week. Put the name you want to be called and your last name on the seating chart. It will stay that way as long as you are working hard. There's a couple of you last year that I was a little lenient on and your test scores dropped dramatically. So I will be having my finger on top of you and you may not be sitting where you want to be sitting. So you better be getting yourself in gear ready to work. Most of you have already had me. Those of you have not. I think I have one or two new people. This is my 13th year teaching. I've taught at Reeves High, Molo Middle, and MBMS. This is my 9th year at Moss Bluff Middle. I went to Moss Bluff Middle and graduated from Sam Houston. Love to laugh, and if you notice all the llama stuff around the room, that's kind of like a ongoing joke because years ago I needed a YouTube channel so people could watch my math videos when they were absent. So I couldn't figure it out and had some kids create a YouTube channel for me. And when they did the YouTube channel profile picture, it ended up being this cute little llama there. And so the ongoing joke is llamas. So all the llama decoration you've seen around you has been given to me by kids because it is hilarious. And at the end of all my videos, I like to say, peace out, llamas. And I consider all my students the llama squads just because it's stupid and funny. So if you want to follow my YouTube channel, I would love to because I'm at 272 subscribers and I need to start getting paid for my channel. So this number needs to up. So go follow my YouTube page. It is Math God, one word, space Adams. And you will see this cute little llama guy with awesome looking teeth as the profile picture. And I have math videos and fun videos that I do posted to that channel. And if kids are ever absent, they can ask me to record the lesson that day and I post it to the YouTube channel for people to watch. So, again, that number is really low. My goal is to hit 300. I'm not asking too much. I'm just asking for a subscribe. Alright, so moving on. Those of you that have not had me, an interesting fact is that Miss Glass, Miss Cole, and Miss Castile all taught me when I was in middle school. So those ladies are real old, and you can tell them that I said so. Class supplies for algebra. The binder situation. Last year, the kids said the binder was way too small for all the notes that we needed. But I hated for you to carry around a gigantic binder. So if you want to buy two 2-inch binders and have one for the beginning of the year, one for the second half of the year, you never want to throw your notes away because at the end of the year we do reviews back to the beginning and you will need to see them. So That's your fair warning. Do not throw these away. Most kids use them again in geometry and algebra 2 because it's so crucial for those grades as well. So the binder situation's up to you. You just need to have one in your backpack. You can have a small or a large, whichever, to save you some room. Sticky notes, dry erase markers, and a scientific calculator will be needed. We're going to be using a graphing calculator on the computer. It's the same one that is loaded onto your LEAP test for Algebra 1, so we'll get used to that graphing calculator so you can kill that Algebra 1 test. A lot like the kids last year did, but we'll get to that in a minute. You should have gotten a remind paper. Make sure you circle the correct class you're in and sign up for just that hour. And you should have a syllabus, and I'm going to go through the syllabus now. If you don't have the syllabus yet, you might want to pause the video and get that, and we're about to go over it. Alright, so let's talk about algebra. What to expect in Algebra 1? Well, most of you had me all last year. Expect about the same. I'm going to be using Teams again. Teams already has all the videos for the year uploaded for all the notes. So if you're ever absent, you will need to watch those videos. This will probably be your most time-consuming class of the year, and I dare to say most important. You are now a high school student when you walk in through this door. This is about the only classroom you're walking into that is a high school class, aside from some enrichment classes. So it is very serious. Let's see here. If you're not doing homework, you will not pass the EOC. I can give you a few students' names that did not pass because they did not do the homework. I'm still going to be sending out remind text messages. Email will be useful. But Teams is going to be where it's at and where all your information is housed for Algebra 1. Your notes will be extremely important. What kind of grades am I taking? About the same as last year, except high school requires that you have 15 grades instead of 9 grades. So there are a lot of grades. This allows me to have some easier grades than just tests. So you want to take advantage of those. But the big problem is the difference in middle school and high school grading. Let's take a look at that. If I am middle school grading, which you used to be in every other class, and you still are in some classes. In middle school, we considered an A to be worth how many points? 4 points. We considered a C to be worth 2 points. F was worth 0. So let's say these 3 grades are my current grade, and I want to know my average for the class. Well, I totaled up all the points, and I got 6. Then I divided it by 3, and I got an average of a 2.0. And if you look in the back at my grading scale, pretty sure a 2.0 is a C average. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a C. Okay, so these 3 grades in middle school grading would give you a C average. Let's look at those 3 same grades in high school. In high school, let's consider that A that you made was a 98A. That C that you made was a 76C. And that F that you made was because you didn't turn something in. Well, if you turn nothing in, you've gotten 0 points for it. It's always better to turn something in and at least get some points. So if these are my 3 grades, and I add those up, I get a total points of 174. And if I divide that by 3, I've got an average of a 58. If you look back on the grading scale in the back, a 58 is an F. So in middle school, if you had those 3 exact grades, you would have had a C. High school grading, those grades turn out to be an F. All because this guy here murdered your grade because you did not turn something in. If you have half of something done, it is always better to turn it in, and you at least get 50 points instead of 0 to average for your grade. So high school grading is a big deal. You do not want to miss turning in anything in high school. And there's 15 things in 9 weeks that you're going to have to do. So keep that in mind when you're on PlayStation or something and don't feel like doing your homework, what your grades might turn out looking like. Alright, so that is algebra grades. I'm sure the mood in the classroom has changed now. You're probably not too excited. Okay, what if you need help in Algebra 1? I've already said those videos are going to be on Teams. They're already uploaded. You can rewatch the lesson if you were confused from the lesson. There are going to be my homework answers are uploaded there. Of course, I'm always checking the work and not the answers, so you can always check on Teams the homework answers to make sure that you're doing the math correctly. Let's move on. This is a big thing here. How do I get the Algebra 1 credit? These 3 things have to happen in order for you to get the credit. Attendance. If you miss more than 10 days, there is nothing I can do, the principals can do, anybody can do. You cannot receive the credit. They don't care if you pass the LEAP and have a 4.0 on your report card. If you have more than 10 days missed, there is nothing we can do. Now, there's been a couple kids that had a good end of course grade and report card grades, and the parish didn't bother to look at our attendance, and so they went ahead and got the credit. But if they start pulling my roster's attendance and you have more than 10 absences, there's a chance you're not getting the credit because you missed more than 10 days. And there's several of you in this class, I know from last year, missed quite a few days. We're not talking getting quarantined for COVID. That's excused. I'm talking just not showing up to school with no doctor's excuse for COVID. So need to keep that attendance stuff in mind. Your report card grades. We're not going to leave you in the class with a C or below. If the first 9 weeks you have a C, you better bring it up by the next 9 weeks, or we're just going to move you to regular ed math because you're not cutting it. I have had in my teaching algebra for 13 years now, only had less than a handful, less than 10 kids not pass the EOC, which is the LEAP test, in my career. If you're doing what I ask you, you will pass. I can guarantee you that. But if you're not, if you're being lazy about some stuff, there's nothing I can do. You will not pass. So, C the first 9 weeks, you're on probation. If you get C or lower again, you're out. D or F the first 9 weeks, you're probably automatically going to regular math. No questions asked. Now the end of course exam, EOC is what it's normally called, but it's just a fancy name for the LEAP for high school. for you to get a high school credit as an 8th grader taking the Algebra 1, you have to score a Mastery or Advanced. If you were in high school taking this class, they would accept a Basic and give you a high school credit. But being you're 8th graders, if you score a Basic, they think you're not smart enough to be on the advanced track. So you would need to retake the whole entire course again next year and hopefully pass with a Basic, Mastery, or Advanced. But as a middle schooler, you cannot score a Basic. You have to score a Mastery or Advanced. And like I just said, I've only had less than 10 kids ever score a Basic in my 13 years. And I knew who those kids were before they even took the test, because they did not do what I asked of them for the class. So those 3 things have to be met in order for you to get the high school credit, or else you will be retaking Algebra 1 next year. And lastly, congratulations guys, you are officially in a high school class. That's a big deal. That's kind of awesome. You're getting a head start. Your senior year, you'll probably be taking some college classes. You'll probably even be taking college classes your junior year instead of those other high school math courses. So keep it up, and you're going to be taking some free college classes come high school. Alright, some of you, I saw your LEAP scores and I saw you drop dramatically, or you stayed a Basic. I was going to kick some of you Basic out, but I'm going to give you a chance. I'll be talking to you, but I don't want to see anything below a C on my stuff from those Basic people and from those people that dropped dramatically. So I'm going to be talking to several of you, letting you know that I am watching your every move, or else you will be moved back to regular ed math. So we'll probably be going over that next week. If you're curious about your LEAP scores, they are on Student Progress Center. You can look at them there. Whoopsie-daisies. Side note, my bonus point and homework passes are back. We'll be doing some team points. Miss Bro's going to be leaving some names of kids that win different activities or are really good this week, and you can expect some bonus points and homework passes for next week I will give you. Now let's get into the data of your LEAP scores. Did pretty good. Not too terrible. Let's look. You were 7th graders last year. We had 89% of you scored Mastery. No one scored an Advanced. And 11% of you that I taught scored a Basic. Yuck. That's a little high for an advanced class. And those 11% shouldn't really even be sitting in this classroom. Let's look what our 8th grade did last year. This has combined algebra, and remember last year I had a regular 8th advanced class, so I put their information in here. I had my little things in the way. Hold on. Alright, so the yellow right here, I had 4% of Algebra 1 kids scored an Advanced. No one in that 8th grade advanced class scored an Advanced. 62% of the algebra kids scored Mastery. And what is that? 18% scored Mastery in 8th grade. If I combined both of those of my 8th graders, I'm looking at 80% of my 8th graders last year scored mastery, which y'all's look a little better. But I did have that 8th grade class, and they had 14% of them still score a basic. That was kind of expected. Only one student in algebra scored a basic, so only one student last year did not get an Algebra 1 credit. Out of, what was it, like 68 kids, one student did not. The rest had a mastery and advanced because they did what I asked. This student was actually a surprise. I did not expect that kid to score a basic. I would have thought that kid scored an advanced, so I really think that kid had a bad testing day, and it kind of sucks. So, let's keep looking at some more data. Your scale score is the number. And I wanted to look at the number, if it grew or not. In 7th grade, 54% of you grew. 46% of you declined from 6th grade score. That's terrible. But in your defense, 7th grade, I feel like they scored the hardest in. So that looks terrible, but I expected it a little bit, but not that big of a number. I would have rathered a bigger growth number than 54%. Because look over here at 8th grade. Out of all my 8th graders, 91% of them grew. Only 9% dropped in their scale score, their number digit. So, this is more what I was expecting. Some of you were a little too goofy in class, not focused, and this is what this showed. And we're going to be having a one-on-one talk about that. So yeah, I'll be telling you your scores and if you grew or decayed, which is decline. Let's take a look. This is achievement levels. This is like advanced mastery, basic, and all that. And if your achievement level grew, like if you were a mastery to an advanced, then that would be a growth. Or if you were a mastery to a mastery, you stayed the same, but you still could have grew or declined based on your scale score, because a mastery is like from 750 to 700. Could be wrong. So if you can still grow in that area, but your achievement level stayed the same. So this shows 27% of you actually grew to a higher achievement level. So you went like from a mastery to an advanced, which really didn't happen because none of y'all had an advanced. So 27% of you went from a basic to a mastery, so that was good. 71% of you stayed the same. Only 2% of you went down a level, so that's really good. On the other hand, over here for achievement levels, we just had 10% that grew in an achievement level. 79 stayed the same, and 11% actually changed and dropped achievement levels. So it's kind of crazy how that works compared to your scale score. To me, I don't care about this as much as I want to see your number actually grow. I don't care about achievement levels. I want to see the number grow, never drop. So, you may notice over on my data wall, I have not changed that for y'all yet. I have not had time to get up there with my back surgery to change that data wall, but I will be changing it. In 7th grade, I had 47 of you actually score mastery, and 6 of you scored basic. So there's 6 basics that I kept, and I'm going to be watching. And out of that 47 people, I'm going to be watching some of you too, because you dropped in your skill score. Alright, so that's about all I have for you today. And always, we have to close the video with a lovely peace out, llamas. Can't wait to see you next Monday. And until then, peace. Oh, and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Later.